Good morning, everybody. So it is 11 a.m. Well, I think there's another 2 minutes to go, and this watch is running a bit fast, but that's all right. We'll get started now. So many of you on here already, 40 watching now. Thank you and welcome. A few of you have been really excited about today, and I am too. So before I get too into everything, if everyone can let me know that the audio and the video is all good, then we can get going. So welcome everybody. I'm not going to go through the list of names because there's quite a few of you on here today, and you guys have already started the super chats and stuff for the box, which is so exciting, and I'm really excited about it as well. And then I have a couple of other giveaways that I'm going to be doing too, so I'll tell you in a minute. Esme. Okay, cool. I have my girl Esme on here, which is so good because Esme helps me with the camera check. So I am recording this video with my DSLR camera because I'm going to be doing a fully edited step-by-step video of this entire portrait for PanPastel, which is what they will be putting on their YouTube channel and website. In the end, I'll just have this live stream on my channel and the time-lapse video when it's done. But the full edited version when I finish, because this is obviously a very big piece as you can see, once I'm done, that will be available for you guys to use. So the point of today and the point of the super chat and donations is just so that you guys can help me with postage, because it can get quite expensive with postage. So please do not do more than $1 or $2 because it's unnecessary. With all of you that are going in for this, I'm sure I'll cover postage no problem. So please don't worry about putting extreme amounts on there. It just has to cover postage and we're all good to go. So $1 is fine. You can also enter more than once if you want to have your name entered more than once. So go ahead and do that. I think, should I switch the audio off for the super chat? Because it seems like it might get in the way. So I think I might just turn the audio off for that. So go no audio. Let me see if I can do that. So go no sound. Save. And then there shouldn't be sound come up for that. I know it's cool every once in a while, but if it's going to happen a lot, then it's going to become a bit in your face. Radio. So what was I saying? I forgot. Yes, so that helps me with postage and packaging, and that's all I need. This is not for me to make a profit. PanPastel sent me this set to demonstrate to you guys, so I did not pay for it. And so what I like to do is I like to do this sort of thing where I can give it away, and all the super chat and the donations is for is to help me cover postage. That is it. So this is the set. I'll open it in a minute and show you guys what's in it. I'm going to do a couple of other giveaways as well. So I've got 4 packs of these. There's 12 prints in here and some little magnets. So I've got 4 of them that I'll be giving away. And then I have this beautiful little pencil purse, which opens up quite nice and big with a couple of postcard size prints in there to give away as well. And then of course the main giveaway that you all want is this one. So this will be the first one that we'll do at the end of the stream. I'm only streaming for an hour and a half today. So the aim for today is to sort of do as much on her face as we can and at least get her eyes and her nose done. So that's, as long as I get that done in the hour and a half of today's stream, then I'm pretty happy. And like I said, the rest of it, the full edited version, will be available once I'm finished with all of it. And yes, so we're going for an hour and a half, so 12:30 my time. I'm not sure what time that is for you guys. Will be the end of the stream, and then we'll do all 7 giveaways at the end. And everyone that's entering now, so I'll give you like a deadline time, so no more donations or super chats will be accepted after that for the names, and then I will randomly pick the names for all these giveaways at the end, and then we will see how it goes. Okay, so let me put that away, and then we're going to open this. So I did this really cool thing because I did set it out earlier. So I put the PanPastels on here, and I put the number and the name over here, so that when I lift it off, I don't have to tip it upside down or look underneath it every time to see the name and the number. So that's pretty cool. I didn't even check if you guys are all good with audio and everything. Well, it seems fine. It seems fine. Okay, and then any questions? I'm only going to be answering questions if it's about PanPastels today. I'm not going to answer any questions that are about when I started art or anything irrelevant to PanPastels. I won't be answering today. So if you have any PanPastel questions, make sure to ask them in capital letters or to tag my YouTube name in there so that I can see it nice and clearly. If I do accidentally miss it, then Maureen will remind me. Maureen is so wonderful. So Maureen's helping me today. She is going to take, every time you guys do a super chat, Maureen is going to give you guys a number, and that's going to be your number for when we do the random number selection at the end, and it will be the same list for all the giveaways. If someone wins for a second time during the giveaways, then we'll just redo it so that it's a little bit more fair. No one's going to win more than one thing. And yes, so questions have to be in capital letters or tagged, and put it in the chat. And then also all other information that you might need to know is in the description, so make sure you read the description. If you cannot use the super chat, then especially read the description. You can still enter that way, and we'll do that. Okay, so this is the cover of the box, and it's a pretty big box, and it's pretty heavy as well, which is nice. So we've got 20 PanPastels in here, and this particular set is the portrait set, and it's got these colors over here, so they tell you what the numbers of the colors are. Oh, excuse me. And the name of the color is at the bottom. So we have titanium white, diary slide, yellow shade, yellow ochre tint, orange tint, burnt sienna tint, permanent red tint, red iron oxide tint. I won't go through the list. The list will be available in the tutorial of everything that we have in here. And then, of course, I'm going to open it now to show you what it looks like and then set it all up and use it. So I'm only going to use it for this portrait. And then once the portrait is done, I'm going to pack it up, and whoever gets the giveaway will get this box. So I will be using my own set of the soft sponges, so that's what they look like, the soft applicator sponges. So I won't dirty yours. I'm just using your PanPastels, but your sponges will be clean and brand new, so I won't use them in your box. Okay, so let's open this up. So this is what it looks like. You get a little PanPastel booklet. Oh, and this owl, there's a free video on the PanPastel YouTube channel on how to do this owl, and it looks magnificent. And I actually plan on doing a different kind of owl in the same sort of way for the PanPastel channel again, and I will be conducting those workshops here in town actually. Okay, so then when you open it, you're going to see 4 stacks of PanPastels. So they look like this, and underneath they have a little like case with extra sponges and stuff. So we'll open each one of them. So there's 4 of them, each with some different ones. And then you've got this round oval soft sponge. I like using these sponges for mixing colors, and I'll show you how I do that today. And then you've got 2 of these little, they look like palette knives. And then the sponges that are in here go over these palette knives. And then they're really cheap too, so they're easy to replace, and you can just buy a whole bundle from PanPastel. But they're also pretty easy to just wipe clean if you haven't destroyed the actual sponge itself. Now, I am using sanded paper today, so my sponges are going to get destroyed. So that's why I didn't want to touch these, because I'll probably go through a few sponges, especially because it's such a big piece. Okay, so, but I'm going to leave them in there. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to undo that bottom bit with those sponges and put that in the box as well. Okay, and then I'll put that away. I'll try and leave it as good as I received it. in as good of a condition as I have received it. That was difficult. Okay, so what I've done here is I've got my colors set apart here, so you may not see each one, but I will mention each color as I go. And then it's so cool, like storage and traveling with this would be so easy because of how they've done this. So you can literally stack these up for ages, stick it in a tube, and voila, go travel. Okay, so I've got my violet tint, which is over there. My burnt sienna tint over there. Yellow ochre tint. Orange tint. Diary light yellow shade. Such a strange name. Permanent red tint. Red iron oxide tint. Okay, I will keep an eye on. Okay, so Karen Dean Williams, thank you very much, and Carlson Massage and Bodywork, thank you very much. So you guys are in there as well. Let me just let Maureen know about those so we don't miss you guys. So Carlson Massage and Bodywork. And Karen Dean Williams. Beautiful, thank you very much. Make sure to keep an eye on that. My watch should tell me, which it does. Cool, cool, cool. Right here. Then we have raw umber tint. There. Titanium white. Raw umber. See, I'm sorry, like now I can lift that up and I'll know what it is. I don't have to look underneath it. Especially if you start moving like the powder around on the top a little, you don't want to have to tip it upside down to look at it, so you have to sort of hover it above your face, which isn't always the best. Burnt sienna. Payne's grey. Burnt sienna shade. Ultramarine blue. Raw umber shade. There we go. Neutral grey. Turquoise shade. Red iron oxide shade. Permanent red, and I don't have to read those. Let's put that by the box. Keep them nice and clean. Okay, so those are our colors. So that's a pretty decent palette. You can do a lot with this. You don't have to get all the PanPastels. Although once you start collecting PanPastels, it's like an addiction. You have to get them all. But and I'm not just saying that. Just let me put a little disclosure out there right now. I own the whole set of PanPastels and I have been using them for a long time. So it's not a new thing for me. Just because they sent it to me for free, I'm not going all crazy about it. This is actually how good I feel about this product. So if anyone's wondering. So with this palette, there's a lot that you can do. You've got all your important colors. So if you know how to mix it up, which I'll show you how, you will have no problems with applying this. Okay, so this is the reference photo, and the reference photo will be available for download once this video is finished. So I actually took 3 royalty-free photos from iStock Photo, and I sort of just merged them together and like balanced the colors up a little bit, and that's how I got to this reference. So nothing too crazy, very simple. I took this royalty-free photo of, I think it's a Tui bird, T-U-I bird, and this model, and then a nice blurry blue background because I like the sort of composition and the color, and that's how I come up with a reference. But the whole idea for this is just so that we can get a nice portrait in, and I didn't just want to draw her, I wanted to just add something extra, so I really wanted to add the bird. And some of you would like to know how to do feathers as well, so that would be a good little exercise, and the extra little flowers will be fun too. But for this live stream, because this I would estimate will probably take me about 15 to 20 hours to do, so it's not something I can do in one live stream. So that's why we're only going to go for an hour and a half today, but once it's done you will have the video available to you guys. Okay, so now we better get started because we are 15 minutes in and we've done nothing. So I'll probably go for an extra 15 minutes to compensate for the fact that we didn't actually start anything on here yet. Okie dokie, so I'm going to start straight off with the eyes. Or what I might actually do, I might do a little bit of the background just to show you how it applies. Now the paper I'm using, and paper is very important, because if you just use regular paper, the PanPastel doesn't really stick to it as much. But if you use sanded paper, the PanPastel like glues to it. It's like the sanded paper just grips it and the pigment stays really strong. But that being said, you still need to, if you're going to layer a lot, especially if you want to do detailing and you might add your pencils on the top, which we will be doing, then you're still going to have to seal it with a fixative. Actually, I need to grab my fixative. So I'm just going to use, I'll get it quickly. Okay, so I'm just going to use my Mikador workable matte fixative to sort of seal in layers. And you'll also find that your first layer is never going to be as bright as your second or third layer. So you take your time, allow those layers to become brighter, and I will just demonstrate on a little section. Oh my gosh, I'm running out of space. Demonstrate on a little section over here. Because we've got these nice blues, and this paper is colored, so it's got quite a yellow color. So I might just do this blue blurry bit here, and then the white blurry bit and the blue around it. And then just to show you guys how it sticks to this paper. And I'll zoom in a minute. So I'm taking the square sponge. You could probably better off taking the round one. I just grabbed the first one that I saw. And I'm going to apply it to the blurry bit. So you do want to do your background first usually. But for today, okay. The blue should cover your pencil strokes. And if you keep layering quite a lot though, your pencil marks should go away. But try not to have your pencil marks too dark. Speaking of pencil marks, so I did transfer the image on here. You can do whatever way you like. You can freehand it, you can use a grid method, you could use transfer with a bunch of prints, or you could use a projector. Whatever works for you, you do. So to save me time, I just transferred the image over. Look, like that's so smooth. Oh my gosh, you can't see what I'm doing. I'm so sorry. Oh, and that being said, I need to record. Radio, let's get organized. This is how we learn. Okay, so that's there like that. Let's lift this up. Zoom in. We'll lift you up more, which I cannot. Oh my goodness. Now you just cannot see it. Okay, just bear with me. We'll get there. Right. Probably should have picked a different section. Radio. Okay. And then my light popped out. There we go. Okay, I think we're sorted. Oh no. Oh shit. I'm gonna pause for a second. Let me just sort this out. Cool. The joys of technology. Thank you for bearing with me. Okay. So this picture is so big, and then I have my, I'll show you. Look straight up here. I got my two cameras like back to back. So if I try and move one camera too much, then it interferes with the other camera. And then I need to readjust both of them. So all you guys are seeing all this and you're like, oh yeah, that looks so simple. But then in the background, there's just wires everywhere. Let's do this side. Can you lift up a little bit more? Just okay. There we go. Leave it be. Leave it be. Okay. Now because this is sanded paper, it is going to sort of start ripping little pieces of your sponge off. So that's the only downfall about using sanded paper. But you don't, I think I have been pressing a little more firmly than what I really need to. But, you know, I should have just done this one because this is the easiest one to see. So I'm using the titanium white still, just to get this in here. And then I'm going to use some of the ultramarine blue shade. And I'm going to use that around here. Now it is going to be quite dark. That's okay. So this is going to be a perfect example of how dull the first layer is always going to look. Artista's asking me, have I ever tried using makeup brushes or PanPastel for PanPastel application? I have, but a brush just brushes it off, whereas a sponge tends to make it like glue. If you want to sort of blend things out and make them softer, you could use a brush. But it does tend to sort of rub it off the surface. I can show you what happens just so you can see. So, but in terms of applying pastel to the paper with a brush, it's not going to work. I'll show you how or why. So I have some makeup brushes here. Let's say I want to apply some with this makeup brush. It will work, but you see how much fluff it makes? It's brushing on the surface in such a way that it's brushing more off. Whereas if you use the sponge, it it forces us into the tooth of the paper. Do you see that? So what you could do, if you wanted to, is you could take like a brush like this, blush brush, and you could soften areas like that off. So let's say you want to soften this a bit more, or sort of lift it off a bit, then you could use the brush to do it that way. But in terms of applying color, the brush isn't going to work. But you can still use the brushes to soften things up like that. See how soft that looks? And then that would be your first layer, because if you're going to keep trying to layer like that, the PanPastel's not going to stick. You need to seal it with something. So let's, for sake of experiment, let's go back and see just how much of the blue we can actually apply before it starts moving around. Do you see that? It's already starting to move the areas around it around. So you need to seal that with a fixative to apply another layer. I want to show you guys, but I need to finish a section before I can show you that. So let's go and just do this top section here. So you could use the PanPastel to smooth those edges out nicely. Make them look blurry. And then if you want, you can use the brush just to soften some areas off so you don't see any like strokes. Or you can use that with a sponge as well. But that would be your first layer. So you would have to seal that in before you can add further layer, because you saw that when we try to apply more blue, it's not going to make it any darker than that. So let me spray that. But first I need to protect everything. So this is the joys of watching a live stream, is that everything does not run smoothly. So just keep that in mind. So I'm going to cover this just so that the PanPastels are protected. And usually you want to cover everything that's around before you spray anything, because you don't want the fixative to get everywhere. I have a window right next to me that's wide open. Okay, so I just shake it, so the bottle will tell you to do that. So for this one, okay, so this fixative is for pastel, charcoal, chalk and pencil work. And where's the directions? Hold can 20 to 25 centimeters from the surface and spray on a side-to-side motion. Okay, so I'm just gonna spray this section. It is gonna make the color lighten up a little, but that's okay. The whole point is that we want to start building up those layers. So don't worry, the more you build up the layers, the more that pigment is gonna sort of pop out. Jamie, really? That's amazing. Great, Gracelyn, you're entered. Thank you, Jamie. That was very, very kind of you. Let me just go back and see if there's any other questions. So if you have any questions, please tag me or put in capital letters so that I can see it. Okay, so the last one was by Artista. Oh, and today's question's only about PanPastels, if that's okay. Let me just check if anyone else has. If you absolutely cannot afford to donate even $1, then please let us know in the chat and someone will chip in for you. No problem. Sorry, Gracelyn, if there was any misunderstanding. Angel's asking, do pastels blend in color or just layer? Yeah, you can blend them before you apply them, and we'll get to that with a face. For now, I just want to show you the basic application of PanPastels and how you layer them. So I'm just letting that dry a little bit. While that dries, I might just start applying some colors to the eyes. Okay, so I'm going to take some of the titanium white, and I'm using this nice little triangular blender. And thank you, Esme. Come on, camera. That's where you're recording. Camera check. Okay. So I'm just adding some white in the whites of her eyes. Now what I do with something like the eyes, because I just do the like underpainting with the PanPastels, but I would do the detailing with the with colored pencils. So I'm going to be using my Faber-Castell Polychromos oil-based pencils for details. So just do the underpainting for that. Her eyes are a beautiful dark color, so I'm going to use the burnt sienna shade. And it's so cool because there's a lot of room for error with PanPastel, because you can erase, as long as you haven't sealed it yet with a fixative, you can erase it and fix it up and add light over dark, no problem. So there's no black in this set. So I do love using black, but we are not going to use black. We will mix the blue or the Payne's Grey with the raw umber shade instead. So her eyes have this like beautiful glow around it. So before we do the dark pupils, we will add some burnt sienna, 740.5. Which is actually not a lighter color. That's fine. That nice glowy color will come through with the colored pencils. And I'll probably end up using some of my Prismacolor pencils as well. So you see that I've gone over there a little bit. Now if you wanted to, you don't have to. So I wouldn't usually do this, but I'm just showing you that you can. So you could use a putty eraser. Jamie, talk to me about it after. Well, it's okay. I'll get it back to you. Okay, so you can use a putty eraser. Okay. And there, you could easily fix that. So if you wanted to sort of lighten up an area around the eye as well, if you wanted to, you could do that. But this paper's yellow, remember, so it's not going to come out white underneath. But yeah, there's a lot that you can do. Cool. So just have that ready for you if you need it. Iggy is asking if you can apply PanPastels with your fingers. You can, but why would you want to unless you like working in a messy? Plus you've got the oils of your fingers and stuff that will mix with it, and I don't know how, because it's a dry substance. PanPastel is very dry, so I think it's better if you apply it dry. Ian's asking, can you do finished detail completed pictures all in PanPastels? You can, but trying to get details like fine little eyelashes or something with the PanPastel is very hard, so you're better off using pencil for that. Cool, no worry. Graceland still answered though. Alright guys. Okay, so this is dry now. Now I want to show you what happens when you apply the second layer, because we've sealed that with fixative. So look how much brighter it's going to be the second time around. It's not going to move around as much. Do you see that? Big difference. Big difference. So layering is key, so don't be afraid of your fixatives. This is how you're going to layer gradually and get those colors to stand out so brightly. That's my experience with it anyways. I don't know if it's like that if all artists use it this way, but this is how I use it. Yeah. If you're using a white piece of paper, sanded paper, it would probably stand out a little brighter. But I don't know. You have to play around. You have to experiment. Experimenting is key. So now I just want to blend that nice and soft with my other sponge that had white on it, because that blue is sort of blending in there. And then if you want to intensify the white, just add more white. And then that's sort of the idea of the background. So I would actually work that a lot more than that. But I just wanted to show you guys an example of layering with PanPastel. So I hope that that was clear enough. Okay, so now we're going to get onto her face and stick to doing her face. So I want to do sort of like an underpainting of her eyes, her nose, and her mouth, and a little bit of the skin around it, and then do the details in pencil, because that's all I will be able to do with the time that I have in this stream. Let's put my clock over there. The time can be seen. Beautiful. Okay. So these little oval sponges here. So you got these ones, or you get a whole bunch of different ones. But I'm going to use this one for mixing. So we will try and do some of the skin tones around her eyes and her nose. Maybe a bit on her cheeks. So I'll show you how I do that. And then there's something cool you can do. I'm just doing this for the tutorial so that I have a strip here which is the same size over here, and this is what we can use to help us mix colors or help us compare so that we can see how we're going with our colors. Now, I don't expect to get an exact result, but I just want to sort of get a closer understanding of the sort of the highlighted areas and the shadowed areas and the sort of colors or values I'm looking for. So I'm going to use this oval sponge. It's a clean one, and I have some really nice colors here that I want to use. So I want to mix some of the permanent red tint. So just take some of the permanent red tint and actually apply it to the sponge like this. So this is how we're going to start testing our colors. Should probably have a spare sheet of this paper so we can test it on there. And then you could mix a bit of the white in there to make it lighter, less pink. I think we could add quite a bit of the white. So there you can see how the color is starting to change. And then I think I'd like to also add some of the burnt sienna tint. Oh, that's a very nice skin color. And then some more white. So this is how you can play with a color until you feel confident enough that that's the kind of color you'd like to put down. You could do this straight onto your drawing if you wanted to. But with skin tones, I don't know if I'm that comfortable with it yet. I'd rather just mix it up like this. And then you can always come and grab whatever excess is left on your mixing sponge and continue to mix it that way. Julie's asking, what other paper can you use with PanPastels? Well, you can use pastel paper, just regular pastel paper. You could use pastel matte, sanded paper, any sanded paper. All those things are fine. Okay. So now we have an idea of the skin tone here. So let's maybe apply some to her cheek here. So that's quite a nice color. And now when you compare this pink, because the yellow of the paper will confuse you, but you can compare the actual pink tone here to her skin, and you can see that it actually has to be even lighter. But this will probably be the perfect color for the side of her nose here. So let's just add that there, and then you can take your sponge and just, because there's a fair bit on there, just apply some more. Repeat. Okay, and then if you know that an area has to be lighter, I'm just going to dip my sponge straight into the white here and apply it onto the skin there, over the pink, to make it even lighter. So this is sort of what I'm comparing it to. And then it's darker on the side of the nose here, but not too much darker. So I'll take some of the burnt sienna tint again. And this time I want to do it on the side of the nose here. Apply it to the side of the nose. I might just apply some of it just straight from the palette. So looking at where those darker shadows on the nose are. And it's quite dark above the eye here as well. So we could change these colors up later. We might just want to sort of establish some shadows a bit more now first. Okay, and then I want to blend the side of the nose in a little better, so I'll come back here, add a bit more white again, and then just make it softer sort of curve in there. Add more of the white. There we go. So we got this nice light pink tone just above the eyebrow as well. So if you have your reference close by, you can just keep an eye on it that way. So it's up to you, or if you have it on a screen. So this area here is lighter, so I'm just using what I have here and a bit of the titanium white and adding that lighter highlight under the brow. Okay, and then I'd like to, on top of this, I might use my little triangular one, and it's got a good color on it, but I'm going to use a little bit of the raw umber, which is very dark, but I just want to mix it up a little over here on top of this. So we're not going to have it that dark, but just a little bit darker. And then we can use the tip of this and create the little, because we don't want to lose our lines as we start applying more color or more pan pastels. There it is. The music went missing. Iggy's asking a good question. How long will an average pan last? Oh my gosh, they'll last forever. It's going to take you a very long time to get through a pan, because you're just brushing the surface for color. And I've used my black one probably to cover the whole surface of something, or the whole surface of a background, with one pastel on something big. And I've done probably about 5 or 6 huge surfaces just with the black, and I'm probably only a third way through the black. So it's going to take you a very long time to get through a pan pastel. It's not going to happen quickly. Just don't drop it. If there's anything I could say, just try not to drop it, because it could break or crack, which doesn't mean it's not useful anymore. You can still use it, but try not to drop it. Although I've dropped mine, I think I've dropped about 2, and they haven't broken, but I've dropped them on a carpet, so I haven't dropped them on a hard floor. The other one you could use your flat sponge, dip it into your raw umber like this, and if you're a little more daring, you can go ahead and use the flat edge to get your brow crease. Don't worry if it's not perfect. This is just the underpainting part. That's good enough. And then you can start adding some of those colors back in to the bottom lids of the eyes, and then you can go over those darker areas. You just want to remember where those creases are. Julie is asking, if you can't afford the full portrait set, what colors for portraits would you recommend as starters? That's a difficult question to answer because this set is made for that sort of thing. So this set is made so that if you want to do the darker skin tones, you can. If you want to do really light pale skin tones, you can. So if you're only going to do a certain type of skin tone, then I could probably recommend a couple of colors. But your best bet would be to go to PanPastel's website and just look at their list of colors and pick from there. And what you see is what you get. So whatever color you see that's in there, that's the color that you're getting. It's not like a pencil where the color is different to the casing. So that's a difficult one to answer. But I think any set that would get you far is if you got primary and tertiary colors and you start learning a bit more from color mixing, then you can do anything with those colors. Literally anything. Okay. So see how that just already created a little bit of depth? And then I'm just going to use some white. I went a bit too dark over here. So you can literally just keep working this with so many layers, because it's just such a fine substance, fine powder. It's not gonna a whole bunch of layers isn't gonna stop you from creating more layers, sort of thing. How are we doing on time? Oh goodness. Okay, maybe I'll only get to do one side of the face. Okay, so the top part of the nose is pretty highlighted, so we can keep going with our 3 colors that we used before. So we're using the permanent red tint, the burnt sienna tint, and the white. So we can keep going with them. And apply it to the top of the nose. Okay, and then this side of her nose is pretty dark, so I'm just going to go straight in with the burnt sienna tint and my square sponge. So what you can do is you can just take a piece of paper towel. So if you don't have to swap your sponges out, you just take a piece of paper towel and you can wipe off any excess like that. You see, now my sponge is clean, even though it doesn't look it. And I can go ahead and add some other colors. So I'm going to add some of the burnt sienna tint. And I'm using the flat edge because I want to apply the shadow here to the side of the nose. Okay. Yep, we have another one from Wicked. Thank you, Maureen. Beautiful. Time goes past so quickly. I feel like I've just pressed record on the camera. It's a bummer because the DSLR camera will only record for 11.5 minutes at a time. Wah! Almost dipped that in the wrong one. So here, if you want to make sure that you are paying attention to the creases of the nose, you could have the reference like right here, because parts of it, like this part of the nose has got very particular shadows, so you want to sort of get them nice and accurate. So having a reference that's the same size close by helps, because if I have to compare this size to there, I'm not going to see as much. And you changing the size of something in your mind may not necessarily be the right sizing. So you might think that you're doing something big enough, but then you're not in the end. And with a portrait, I generally encourage that you do these extra steps. Because a portrait you want to get accurate, especially if you're doing a commission, because the slightest mistake in a face, doesn't matter what it is, can make the person look completely different. So that's the scary part about doing human portraits, is that you can very easily change the look of their face, which is not what you want. You want to be accurate, so may as well take the extra steps to be accurate. So let's add these shadows in here as well. So I'm pretty much using the corner of this here. So that's pretty good. Just above the lip here. So, and the bigger the better if you're using PanPastels. It's a lot easier to draw on a bigger surface than trying to do fine details with these. So if you draw big, it's going to be much better for you, definitely. Okay, so that's good. I'm happy with that. Now we can work on some other parts of the nose. Yeah, PanPastels are expensive, but keep in mind how long they last. You only have to buy them once, probably once every 3 years. But don't buy all of them. Just get if you can get the primary colors as a start and the secondary colors, then that's a good start to go with PanPastels. They are expensive, yes, but they a very easy product to use, and to the coverage, you can get wide coverage very quickly. If I had to just do these skin tones right here using my colored pencils, it will take me 5 times the amount of time, and even if I do it on a size a lot smaller than this. So that's just like sort of what you have to try and look at the bigger picture as well, is how long they last and what you can do with them, and then invest in that. But save up for it. Obviously don't go and get something if you can't afford to get it. But in saying this, I've been talking to PanPastel, and I'm going to be doing a giveaway like this every month. So this is not going to be the only one. We will have another PanPastel set next month. I can't believe I forgot to mention that. So mixing these 3 again. if the super chat's gonna be this good, if I can afford postage and another set with the super chat and donations, then the next giveaway I'll make it a double set so that we can give 2 away instead of 1. And I'd be happy to buy that, because the whole point of super chat for me is just to cover postage and handling, so I'm not out of pocket. It's not to make a profit. So whatever profit I make here is going to go back towards giveaways. So I know the PanPastel is obviously being very popular, so I will I'll take the PanPastels that they send to me for free and have that as a giveaway and demonstration, and I'll purchase another set if the super chats are going to keep being this great. Definitely, because I know they are quite costly. Okay, so I want to add some of these lighter colors in this area of the nose now. So I'm still just mixing these 3 so you can see sort of what I'm doing. There's no particular routine, you just sort of look at what's on your sponge, and then once you apply it to your drawing you can adjust it even more that way. It's such a nice product, and you just getting things this smooth with pencils is not easy. So that's why I like PanPastel so much. So I do tend to go the pastel way with portraits and skin tones because it's just easier. Or if I'm using pencils, and I like using sanded paper. And why are you going there, Shelby? Let's highlight it there. Sanded paper and solvent also is another way to get things really smooth. This paper is so nice as well, but it's so hard to get your hands on it. Like, I went online yesterday to see if I can get some more of the Fisher 400 paper, and they're still out of stock. They still have to manufacture more, and it's been like that for a while now. It's just very hard to get your hands on. But I think the next best thing, if you can't get the Fisher 400 paper, is to get the UArt 400 paper. That would probably be the next best. Okay. Are they toxic to dogs? I don't think so, but it'll probably give them a bit of a tummy ache if they had to eat it. Make sure that you're responsible and that your pets can't get their hands on it. Okay, if you have any questions, please put them in capital letters or so I can see. Camera check, we all good still? 3 more minutes. Thank you, Esme. Right, let's do the eyelid here. Does this make sense when I'm demonstrating? So it looks very, let me try and zoom in some more. Let's work on the eyes and the nose for this demonstration. I'm not going to get to the mouth, so I'm not even going to try. So what's going to happen next is once I got this underpainting done here with the PanPastels, I'm going to use my pencils. Try and get everything on the screen for you guys to see nice and easy. So this one is the titanium white, this one is the permanent red tint, and this is the burnt sienna tint. I'm just reminding myself because I'm going to record each color as I do the tutorial. Okay, using the flat one again and the raw umber. Not too much. I just want to get those creases in the eye. But like those very fine creases, it's easy enough for you to get that with your pencils. So this is just an underpainting. So mix that up using some of the burnt sienna tint over here because there's a shadow here. Come on, camera. Oh, it looks so cool from the DSLR screen. Like it looks very soft. Okay, repeat. Oh my gosh, the tag makes it so much easier. Thank you. Casey's asking, have you used the PanPastel blender in your portraits? No, I haven't. I actually think they sent me some. I don't know. PanPastel actually sent me a whole box of stuff. They even sent me the supplies for me to do my workshop. How amazing is that? Isn't that crazy? I'm so lucky. But no, I haven't tried them yet, so I should try them. I'll see where it is and then see if I can incorporate it in this demonstration as well. Thanks for asking. Ian, which one are you talking about? Lady Marigold is asking, how do you clean the sponge tips for the soft tool and do they wear out quickly? Okay, so to clean them, all you have to do is you take a paper towel and then you can literally just wipe it clean like this. You see that? You just wipe it clean like that and then you're good to go. Dip it in the next one. I am using sanded paper, so mine are wearing out pretty quickly. You can see what it looks like there. So they are starting to wear out. Because the more you rub on the sanded surface, the more they sort of do wear out. But you can get a whole lot of them for pretty cheap. The soft tools are really cheap and it's easy to just replace the sponge heads. So usually you get a few extras if you do buy these. Okay. So what am I doing now? So mixing some of the 3 again. More of the white, so that's highlighted there. The highlighted parts of the cheek are extending to there. And then it's going to get darker. So I'm not going to go further there because I want to start doing the details of the eyes. We have to get the eyes done in the stream because that really makes something come to life. Using some of the burnt sienna tint here just to bring some of the shadow back in the nose, because it's going all the way to the brow there. So those little bits that you see me blowing off all the time are from the sponge, not the pastels. And then let's go ahead and be bold and already just use something. Before I do that, actually, I want to put more skin tones around the eyebrows. Because the hairs go over the skin of the brows, you want to get the skin tones in there first before you apply the brows. Okay, and then so making nice clean shapes in that, you can also do that with your pencil, or even if you take a clean sponge, you could just fix little corners up if you are too much of a perfectionist. But okay, so I'm gonna leave it at that for now. Let's go over this brow here. And then I'm going to use my square sponge. Let's put these away. No, like this. So now using some raw umber shade, I'm taking my square sponge. And I'm going to just block in just the brow a little. Just like that. Because I don't want to lose the shape or the lines there. Like that. The rest of those details will be quite easy to apply with pencils. Okay, let's spray that. Oh, I might have to do another layer. I completely forgot about that. So I'm going to spray that with my fixative to seal that in. So I don't want this to change. I want that to stay the way it is. I'm going to try not to spray too much because I haven't actually... Usually you'd want to do the entire skin tone of the whole face before you do that, but in this case we're not doing that. I'm trying not to spray too much around the other areas. Yep, that's enough. Just to seal that in. Sorry. And the Micador fixative that I like using doesn't take too long to dry. Oh, let me answer some questions while we wait for it to dry. I'll keep streaming until the eyes are completely finished. Okay. Peggy's saying, Shells, I know you're using polychromos for details. Do you ever use pastel pencils? I don't use pastel pencils, I guess because I just love colored pencils so much and I don't have much experience with pastel pencils. It's an automatic thing, like I didn't even think twice about using the polychromos pencils for this, so I think that's why. And because it's standard paper, the polychromos pencils work great. You don't have to use solvents. You can just use a little bit of pressure to get it nice and smooth, excuse me. And that's all you need. But I guess you could use pastel pencils just fine. I bought a set of the Faber-Castell pastel pencils and I haven't tried it yet. It's sitting there Do you want me to use pastel pencils instead of... No, I'm using colored pencils. But I will try the pastel pencils one day. Oh, we're up to number 82 already. That's insane. Oh my goodness. Art by Dana Christina is asking, so you don't experience too much fallout or dust from the pastels on sandpaper? Not if you use the sponges. If you use a brush, then yes, there's a lot of dust. So I demonstrated that towards the beginning of the stream. Phyllis is asking if I've used the wildlife set of these. No, I haven't. But since I'll be getting a set every month, I'm sure we'll get to a point where we can test the wildlife set. But I know that Morgan, Jason Morgan, sorry, he's a wildlife artist and he created that particular color palette from PanPastels or through PanPastels, and he's got heaps of tutorials on that. So he's a very great teacher with PanPastels and pastels, especially with wildlife. Lady Marigold is asking about the pop-up. So that's called Super Chat, Lady Marigold, and that is so that you can enter to win the PanPastel set. So this whole set I'll be giving away at the end of the stream, along with a couple of other giveaways. And the whole reason for it is to help me pay for postage and handling, and also whatever excess is left is so that I can purchase more giveaways to give to you guys. Oh, and just a reminder for those that are tuning in later, this entire step-by-step edited version of this tutorial, including each color I'm using as I go, will be available on the PanPastel YouTube channel once I'm finished with all of this. So that will be a lot easier for you guys to follow. Karen is asking, how do I get the drawing on the sanded paper? I transferred it. So what I did is I sort of printed out 4 A4 size prints, and then I applied PanPastel to the back actually, so like a purple PanPastel, and then that is what I used an etching needle to transfer the outline onto the paper. But you can use whatever method you choose. It could be a grid, you could use a projector if you have one, or freehand if you're comfortable doing that. With the portrait, I tend to transfer because I want it to be as accurate as possible. If it's a wild animal or something and it's not a commission, then I'd be more likely to do a freehand outline. Unless it's a tutorial for my students, in which case I'll also transfer to save time. But I have a couple of videos on my YouTube channel, real-time tutorial videos, and a few of them show you how I use a freehand method for outlining. Peggy. Angela's asking, is a PanPastel your same channel or different channel? No, different channel. PanPastel is a channel on their own, it's a brand on their own. The link is in the description. So I put a link there to PanPastel, and I think it says /videos. So if you click on that, you can see the video tutorials they have on their website, but it is their website, so you can check all the rest of the information there as well. Jill is asking, can you put PanPastels on top of pencils? Yes, you can. you want to make it softer. Just remember, if you're using mixed media like this, you sort of want to seal layers with a fixative. So if you want something to stay, like let's say I put a layer of colored pencil and I would want to put PanPastel over the top, I probably want to seal with a textured fixative so that there's tooth again, and then the PanPastel's got something to stick to. Oh, cool, my brother's on. Hey, Brent. Mary Ellen, thank you very much. And Sherry Meek. And Brent, oh, my brother. Brent, what are you going to do with the PanPastels? You're not going to use them. Let me just let Maureen know those names. Okay, so... Mary Ellen. Sherry Meek. Brent. Cool, thanks guys. Cool. Okay, so that is good to go. So now I want to start doing the details of these eyes. I will still want to add more to the skin tones, but for now that's what I'm doing, just for the moment. So let me get my pencils ready here. So I do have on, where is it? So on my YouTube channel, in the real-time tutorials or free tutorials playlist, I do have one with a color wheel, and I think that one I also include the swatches and the link to the swatches. But if you are not confident in picking your colors, because I'm just going to pick my colors straight out of my trays, I'm not going to worry about getting exact colors. I'm just going to pick what I think I want. But if you want to be exact, then feel free to download the swatches and create swatches out of whatever pencils you've got. Okay. So, this is one eye. Where's my other eye? So if you want it to be really simple, you could sort of hold your reference next to it like this. And then look at the details that way. So let's do that just so that you guys can see. So I am going to use some walnut brown, number 177. And I just want to create those, get those nice soft creases in there. So with sanded paper, like your pencil core is gonna really stick to it, super easy. So make sure that you sort of try and pick your colors closely. But like I said, there's also room for error. You can fix things up pretty easy. So the top eyelid is pretty dark. So, and if you're going to do eyelashes, do that last. So we just want to get the shadow in here. And also the beauty about sanded paper is that you can apply light colors over dark. So if you make a mistake or something's too dark and you want to lighten it up, you can. There's a beautiful sort of golden color in the eye, so I'm going to use some of the terracotta number 186 and add some of it in around here. Not fussed about detailing yet. Add a bit of that golden color. See how easy it is to lighten it up? Go back in with the burnt umber number 280. And here. So if you're going to get extra like sanded bits, that is going to happen. So never use your hand to rub it off, because you'll just smudge it. So just try and be careful. Radio. Let's use. I'm going to use a bit of the cinnamon number 189. Top of the eyelid here. So your pencil core will create a lot of like sandy flaky bits, so you're constantly going to be blowing that off your paper, and that's normal because I mean you're literally scraping it against something that's got grit, sandpaper. Don't be lazy like me, keep your pencils sharp. Let me sharpen this one. Excuse the noise coming up. Remember, if you go too dark on sanded paper, it's fine because you can just lighten it up. So I think I'd rather the crease be more this color. So put that in. Then we have a nice light flesh number 132. So it's just a process of layering. That's literally all it is. You're just going to constantly layer and bring those colors together. So the white of the eye is never completely white, so you always want to add a bit of color in the actual white of the eye. And there's always going to be shadow just under the eyelid. Angel says it's genius. Look at the reference and the drawing simultaneously. It's good because it helps you notice things quickly, because your eye's not traveling from downwards onto your paper all the way to wherever you have your reference placed. So you will notice more, and it will also help you get the shapes right and the size of the values and all those sorts of things as well. So it is worth having the right size reference close by. Okay. So now I'd like to use some of the warm grey one, number 270. And I want to put that in the white of the eye. Again, if you do too much, I mean, you can always just add a lighter color. I'm going to add a bit of the ivory, number 103. So mix it in with that gray I just put down. Just adds a bit more. Okay, so let's finish the iris of the eye. There's a bit of a yellowish tone, I'd say. So I'm going to use some of the dark Naples ochre, number 184. Put that in there. Got a highlight right there. Gives it that really nice glow. And then I think I want to use the indigo blue for the pupil. Just sharpen that. Excuse the noise. Luella's asking, can you use solvent on the colored pencils? You don't have to when you're using this particular sanded paper, because you can get a smooth result just by your pencils itself. So just layering your pencils will eventually make it smooth on this paper. So you don't, and the pigment is already nice and strong, so you don't have to use solvents. When mixing it like this with PanPastels, and because I want to keep layering more PanPastels, more pencils on top of each other, I don't think I'm too keen on using the solvent. Casey's asking, why did you choose a yellow paper for this portrait? I didn't. The Fisher 400 paper only comes in this color, so that, yeah. Good. Okay, so carrying on. So I'm using the indigo blue. So indigo blue is good to use instead of black or with black. Because if you just use black, it can make a color look very flat. So, but if you use the indigo blue like this with other colors, you won't even know that it's blue. But you'll still get the nice darkness and value that you're looking for. I said I was going to finish the iris, didn't I? Okay, so we're working on the iris. Quite dark on the side here. So like my pupil, I think it looks a bit big. So I'm just going to make it a bit smaller. So I'm going to use some of the burnt ochre, number 187. And sort of just define it a bit more. It's better. So there's quite I feel like I'm missing a red in there. So let's add some Indian red, number 192. Yes. There we go. That's the color we want. And maybe a little bit of the burnt ochre, number 187, on top of the yellow. So you have to have a play around And if you have your swatches, you'll probably find the colors a little bit more accurately. Okay, I want to use that. I think I'll use the Naples Yellow, number 185. Those highlighted bits again. But how great is it how you can layer your light over dark and you can just continue to just build it up for ages. You can just do this constantly. It's wonderful. Okay. Now, the white, let's use white. Now what I usually like to do in the end is use a like titanium white by Brush and Pencil. I like using their white for highlighting because it's archival and it's not going to come off. You could also use a paint marker if you wanted to. Okay, so my eye, something's wrong. This needs to be wider here. There we go. This needs to go here. Okay. So as you start adding the surrounding colors, that eye is going to come a little bit more to life. Check if there's any questions. Marion, just refresh again and it should bring you up to date with where the live stream's at. Hey Valerie. Cool. So let's work on the upper eyelid. So I'm using the indigo blue again, the 157. There's some nice warmish tones in there, so I'm going to use some of the cinnamon, number 189. Some of the white. Just in here, there's like a whitish sort of highlight happening. The cinnamon again. So when you add the lashes over the top of this now, it's going to look quite nice. The white over here at the bottom. Okay, so I do want to add, make sure the white is extra sharp. And I want to add the white and the waterline. Even though it's not white, but I just want to add it there so it stands out. And then there's these like little highlighted bits just here. So you can just create little spots with your white pencil. Just to create texture. Thank you, Esme. You're spot on. I'm so glad I have the timer on my watch, because then it vibrates every 11.5 minutes, so I don't have a choice but to notice, which is good. Because I'm not always looking up at the screen at the exact same time. Or the right time. So look how nice the skin looks there as well. It's starting to look very, very nice. I like it. Okay, this song is not staying on. Let's go add another one. New one. So using some of the light flesh, number 132. I'm going to add it here in the tear duct. And then add a little bit of white. Yeah. And then a little bit of, let's go, Venetian red, number 190. So you can tell that this is a new set of pencils. My other polychroma set of pencils, all the pencils are so small, so I just recently got a new one. Okay, I'm making noise. So for the darker areas here. See why I couldn't do the entire portrait in one live stream? It just takes too long. A little bit of the light flesh. 132. I have to say the name of the pencil and the number every time because I'm gonna have to listen to the video and record each one. Okay, I really like that. I'm not quite ready to add the eyelashes yet. I need to add this color in. Here, let's add some cinnamon just along here. So cinnamon, number 189. There is sort of that slight dividing line. Tear duct there. And with the tear duct, like, you don't want to make it too obvious. Using some light flesh, number 132. Okay. Okay, so when we sprayed this with fixative, the PanPastel did die down a little. So I'm going to add a bit more of the PanPastel here. And I shouldn't need to spray the eye with fixative first. I should be okay to just go ahead and use PanPastel. Just to bring those tones out again. And then once I'm happy with those, then I will do the eyelashes. and then we've got an eye done, and then we're already 2 hours into the stream, so we'll call it a day and we'll do all the giveaways. Okay. So using that little palette I had before with the burnt sienna, permanent pink, and what else did I use? The white over here. So I'm paying attention to my reference and the highlights on the eyelid. And then dipping my sponges, mixing on my little mixing sponge. Because this area here is more highlighted. And because I sprayed before I applied the pencils with a fixative, the PanPastel's got more to stick to now. And the very top of the eyelid's quite highlighted. You may have to just use your pencil again to touch up some areas. So I'll use some of the Venetian red again, number 190, just for this area of the eye. And this over more. I might just use this side to make that rounder, smoother. And then I'd like to use a bit more of the light flesh on the eyelid again. There we go. A bit here. Okay, now we can add the lashes. I'll probably use my, do I use black or indigo blue? Let's use the indigo blue. So making sure it's super sharp. Let me just put these out of the way. Okay, so now if you want this back again, to make sure you get your eyelashes in a good spot so we can see exactly where they place. So here we've got one. Here you've got one that's sort of got a little triangle to it almost. So you might find that you want to sharpen your pencil a lot. Even though that seemed very sharp, it's already losing tooth because of the sanded paper. So, and because of her mascara, each eyelash isn't flawlessly smooth. So you can add like little bubbly bits almost. And here, it looks like there's a bit of texture there. And watch how far up they go as well. You can see not all the eyelashes are coming from directly under the eyelid, like they're sort of on the eyelid. So when you have it this close, it makes it a lot easier for you to observe. I can see the shape of my pupil I'm still not quite happy with, but I can still change that. But like little things like that are much easier to notice when you have the reference so close by. I know I keep saying it, but I'm sure you guys can see what I mean. And then here, a little more shadow. There's one that goes like that. And then one that sort of curls around it. The thicker one there. Okay, and then the bottom ones are always very small and intricate, and usually they don't go in the same direction, so make sure that you are following the direction. You'll find always with the bottom ones as well, they tend to be crisscrossing ones. Let me just sharpen this. So I was aiming to have the eyes, nose, and mouth done today. In an hour and a half. I think that's a bit over optimistic. But you know, when you do things like this, time means nothing. It's so easy for time to just go. Probably should have used like a magenta or something for these lashes here. That's alright. And then there's very subtle light lashes here. Okay, so I do want to use another color over the top of that. So I think I'm going to go with this one. So Red Violet, number 194. Red Violet, 194. And I'm going to go over some of these blue ones very carefully. And then this color is also going to be a great one to use to blend in over here. with the color of the like eyeshadow and the skin. Because it is very dark here. And then even a little bit in between here. And then you can see how it needs to be darker in here, the shadow. Okay, now if you find some look super thick and bulky, that's fine. Use something like the light flesh shade 132. That's what I love about this paper, is you can just use colors on top of darker colors, make it a little more subtle. Now I definitely want to seal this in so that this stays put. If you've gone a bit too dark, you can just sort of draw right next to them and then it'll make them look a bit more subtle. And then some of the white. So it's just constant observe, draw, observe, draw, observe, draw. Okay, and I can see where I want to fix the pupil a bit more, so I still want this to be even wider on the side here. So I'm using some of my burnt ochre 187. And my indigo blue, just there. And I like that size a bit better. Get the shadow just under the eye here. I like it. Now my colors aren't exact like I said, but I don't care about that. As long as it looks realistic and it looks fairly accurate, then I'm sort of happy with that. Not that I'm finished by any means. Like, I will gradually be adding touch-ups to this the whole way through. So using light flesh 132. And white. Now I'll show you what I like to do in the eye. I need the light gray. So cold gray number 1, 230. Okay, and then the light flesh number 132 over here. White. Okay, and then what I love to do, now usually I only do this at the very end, but I'll show you now anyways. is like for the highlights of the eye, I'm just gonna dab, like I got a Unipasco white paint marker, and I'm just gonna, it's an acrylic paint marker, and you can add super bright highlights to it. So I want to add a little bit of a moisture look in the tear duct over here. Let's make sure some paint's coming out. And that just gives it a nice wet look. And that's all. That's all you need. So that's the eye. Let me turn it a bit more this way. So that's what I will be doing on this side. Like I said, the colors aren't exact, but I'm not too worried about it. But I'll constantly be building up the skin tones. So I'm not done with the skin tones yet. I will be building that up this whole time. And then that's the process that I take, just so you know. So this is the sort of way to go about it. Make sure you layer, take your time, keep your reference nice and close. I'm noticing already that I need to, just on the side of the eye, this is what happens. So I'm using some of these cinnamon number 189. This needs to be darker, that's too light. And then a little bit of the Venetian red number 190. And a bit of the indigo blue. Oops. Just to bring this, make that a little bit smaller. Okay, cool. And then for the brow, we're out of time. Okay, so that's it. No more super chat donations or anything. Everybody, that's it. All in. We are going to do all the giveaways now. So during the chat, if you donated or used the super chat, Maureen would have allocated you a number. She has the list, so don't worry if you don't remember your number. But we're going to be giving away the set of PanPastels. Let me get the box. So I'm wondering if I should do this one first. Let me zoom out here. Yeah, I'm wondering if we should do this one first or last. Let's do the main one first, and then I've got 6 other giveaways to do afterwards. So the first giveaway is going to be this set of PanPastels, all of this, so everything that come in it. And then the second giveaway is going to be a print of this, same size. So this is A2. So I don't know what size that is. It's 4 times the size of this. Almost 4 times the size of that. So I think 12 by 16 inches, about there is the size for those that work in inches. So that's the second one, is a print of this. I've got other plans for this original. And then the rest of the giveaway, the third giveaway will be this pencil pouch with a couple of postcard size prints in there. And then the other 4 giveaways will be sets of 12 prints. Okay, let me make sure that I didn't get any other donations. I did. Do we have Marion Wigzell on here, Maureen? Yes, verify Marion. Oh, thanks. Yeah. So in the description, I said the brush and pencil fixative, but I'm not using that. I'm using the Mikador matte fixative. So I'll change that now once I'm done here. Okay, so everybody's in. That's it. You're all done. No more donating. We are going to start picking people. And the way it works is... Okay, so Maureen, we have a final number? How many have entered. Oh my gosh. So it would be great to do 2 of these. So next time we'll do 2. Because the super chat is like beyond crazy. We will definitely be able to get another set for the next one. For sureness. Okay, I'm just waiting Maureen to give me a final number. And then I'm going to randomize the number. And the first giveaway. Ooh, 1 to 90. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this is how it works. I have an app. So I go... The minimum number is 1. Maximum number is 90. Thank you, Maureen. So 1 to 90. Go done. Save. So the first giveaway, the first number is going to... Number 14. So number 14, you are winning the PanPastel set. Maureen will let you know who you are in a minute. But number 14, you're getting this whole set of PanPastels. As soon as I've finished this whole demonstration, you'll get all of these and the soft applicator sponges and everything. I haven't used those ones in that set, so they'll be clean and brand new for you. Okay. Great. Okay, so that was the first one. Esme saying, oh, so close. So, I'll wait. Chris Crafts. Congratulations, Chris. So you won the first one. Chris Crafts is number 14. And you won the set of PanPastels. And that's great because I know that you will use it. So that's very good. Congratulations. Okay, so the next one to win the print of this, the same size print once I'm done, is number 71. Number 71. So I do wait a little bit to announce each winner. You guys are experiencing about a 30-second lag, I think, from real time. So that is why I wait a couple of seconds before each one. But congratulations, Chris Crafts won the first one. And number 71 won the next one. So Chris Crafts. Number 14. You won the PanPastel set. Second one, number 71. This one, the print. Number 71 is Jamie. Congratulations, Jamie. Well done. So Jamie, you won the print. Okay, so the next one, which is this over here, let me show you what it looks like. So it's a couple of prints and this pretty little pouch, travel pouch, pencil pouch. So this is the next one, and this one will be going to number 10. Congratulations, number 10. So that's going to number 10. It's the pouch, pencil purse pouch. I love how you guys all say congratulations. So I wonder who number 10 is. Julie Beale. Congratulations, Julie. So Julie is number 10, and Julie wins the pencil pouch and the prints. Okay, the next one is one of these. So there's 4 of these. The 4 of these packs are going to be the next one. So it's just 12 prints and 2 little magnets. So that one's next. So that one is going to go to number 44. Prints. Number 44. So we'll wait to see who number 44 is. I need to move my legs. I've been standing this whole time and I'm trying to stand a lot more. Barb! Barb! For Gia. Congratulations, Barb. You have won that pack of prints. Now, some of you that are getting these prints, if you're students of mine, you might have some of these already. But with the little prints that I do, they all blank at the back. So you can use them as nice little cards or something for someone else. So there's no writing on them. So at least you can use them to give to somebody. Okay, so that was that one. The next one is number 31. Number 31. Oh, and the next one's also a pack of prints. Some different ones. There's a Audrey Hepburn I did in airbrush. I love that one. So that's the next pack. Number 31. Marie! Oh my gosh! See, it's worth becoming a student of mine because they're winning. Marie, congratulations. It is Marie Prattley. Are we getting the right Marie? Marie P. Yep. Good. Okay, the next pack of prints is going to... Well done, Marie. Number 72. The 70s seem to be a good number. Number 72. Again, okay, so if your name has been picked before, we're going to do a rerun. So the next one is number 63. Number 63. So I did say that earlier, so if you've been picked before for a giveaway, then we'll pick the next one. So there's no point in Barb getting 2 packs of prints. Most of them are the same. Yep, so number 63. We'll be getting this one. Sorry, I probably should have said that before I started. Number 63 is Luella. Well done, Luella. Oh my gosh, you are just on a giveaway run. That's crazy. Okay, well done, Luella. You've won that one. And then the final pack of prints. The final pack of prints is gonna go to number 33. Number 33 is the final pack of prints and the final giveaway. So I will list the winners in the comments, but if you are a winner, please make sure you get back to me. So the best way for you to do that is if you go to my website, shaldenefineart.com. If you could go to the contacts page, let me know that you're a winner and send me your postal details so that I can send you the giveaway stuff that you guys won. Okay? Number 3 is Luella again. Okay, so redoing that one. So it's great, the re-entries are great if you're trying to win the PanPastel set, I know, but these giveaways are the same, so we'll just redraw them. Yeah, Luella's lucky, play the lottery. You've won 3 giveaways already from me. Ooh, we got a new subscriber. Yeah, so make sure that you go to my contacts page if you're a winner and let me know that you won, and please send me your postal details. Number 63 is Luella. Oh my goodness. Redo. How many times did you enter, Luella? Far out. Number 75. Number 75. If this is Luella again, then yeah, you better go buy a ticket. Oh dear. Thank goodness I do the redraws. Can you imagine if we did this and you won the PanPastels, the pouch, the prints? Everybody would be swearing at you from the inside. No, good work, good work. I'm very happy to send you guys this stuff. Tammy Cooney, congratulations Tammy, you've won the last pack of prints, so you're number 75. Well done. So I'll go ahead and change the description right now. Just to let you guys know who the winners are in case you guys had to log off during the live stream, and then if you guys can get in touch with me. If you're a student of mine, then I already have your postal details, so don't worry about it, but if you're not, then please send me your contact details. So Chris Crafts, I need your details. Julie and Tammy, please, if you guys can send me your details. So the winner of the PanPastel set was Chris Crafts. Well done, Chris. The prints is going to Jamie. The pouch and prints is going to Julie Beale. And then a pack of prints and magnets is going to Barb, Marie, Luella, and Tammy. So congratulations, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in today. It was so much fun. I really enjoyed doing this, and I hope you guys get a sort of general feel for what PanPastels is like. Yeah, so it was really fun doing this, and the full tutorial will be on the PanPastel YouTube channel as soon as I'm done. Keep in mind, even though as soon as I'm finished, I'm still going to have to edit the video, so it may be a couple of weeks before this is available. But if you want to know all the details about that sort of stuff, make sure to subscribe to my mailing list, because my mailing list, about a half an hour before every live stream, I let my subscribers to my mailing list know that I'm going live, and with the link and like reference downloads or whatever you need, go in there as well. So if you want to keep up to date to that, then subscribe to the newsletter. Otherwise, I was glad that you got to join me today, and I'm excited to see this entire thing finished. This should also give you a sort of idea of how long something can take. So that eye took us quite a while to do, but the eye, it turned out amazing, and I hope that was a fairly good demonstration on the process that it takes when you're using PanPastels and pencils. But they work beautifully together, and on this paper you don't have to use anything else. You can use the PanPastels and pencils and a fixative, and that's all you need. You don't have to use solvents or anything. You can just use PanPastels if you choose to, depending on the subject matter, but I do find doing the finer details is much easier with colored pencils. I'm sure you could use pastel pencils just as well, but it's up to you, whatever your preference is. Okay. Thank you guys. Okay, so my next live stream is actually going to be on Friday. So I'm doing a live collaboration with Amy Howard, and I'm going to be doing a fantasy art piece with, the theme is with a deer and a tree, so that's the theme. I don't know what Amy's doing. She doesn't know what I'm doing. We're only going to find out when we go live on Friday, and then that gives you guys the opportunity to ask us a couple of questions. We're also going to do some giveaways during that live collaboration as well. So if you want to know about that, make sure to subscribe to the mailing list, and you guys will know about it. It's also on my Facebook page if you want to know ahead of time. And then that will be the next one. So that's my Friday, Australian time. So for those in the US or the UK, that would be your Thursday evening. Probably around about, I think it's going to be pretty early. I think it's going to be really early, so those in the UK will probably be able to tune in as well. But that's what's going to come up next, and I will see you guys then. Okay, bye guys.